like to close out the morning with one of the bright stars in the space of sustainability and technology. And I can't think of anyone brighter than this guy. Please welcome the CEO, founder and CEO of SolarCity, Lyndon Rive. Lyndon, welcome. Why don't you just start with just giving us the profile of what SolarCity is these days. You've grown tremendously, you've gone public, you're one of the great success stories in solar space, which we all know has more than a few unsuccessful stories. What is SolarCity these days?
Yeah, I think one of the things that has helped our success is just the fundamental product that we offer. So historically, solar has always been selling equipment. We changed that mindset and we sell energy. So when we go to a homeowner, we install the system for free. The equipment's free, the maintenance is free, we insure it, we take care of everything. The customer has no hassle associated with it. And then we just sell them the electricity. And then we sell them that electricity for a lower rate than they can buy from the utility. So given an option of paying more for dirty energy or paying less for clean energy, that has really helped our growth. And year on year, we've grown over 100% for the last 7 years. So it's been quite an amazing growth. And
you're in a dozen states or so?
Yeah, in terms of size of the company, we are in 14 states, with about 3,600, 3,700 employees. We hire about 5 to 10 people a day, so it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, I guess. So when you started this, I remember that you kind of used a crowdsourcing model where you say, if I can get 10 or some number of my neighbors to all agree to go solar, you would come in and give us this great price and sort of come in and do it all at once. It obviously, cost efficiencies of doing that. How did that work? Is that still part of what you offer?
Yeah, so this is right in the beginning of the company. We started the company in 2006, July 4th, Independence Day. There's a reason why we started on Independence Day, independence of fossil fuel. We've always known that we had to sell energy and not equipment. Now, the challenge in doing that is it's capital intensive. These systems are fairly expensive, and you have to finance it. And so we would go to the banks and say, hey, we've got this great idea. We want to sell energy. And can you please give us $10 million? And the bank person would look at us and go, are you kidding me? You scheduled this meeting for $10 million? You're wasting my time. Please leave. So we had to
because that was too little, too much?
It was too little. It was just too tiny for them to come up with to do the brain damage associated with deploying the capital for $10 million. Now, when we went in there and we thought $10 million, as a startup company, going, that's a big number, but it wasn't. So we had to come up with a new idea of how do we get to economies of scale to prove that we can deploy the capital if they give it to us. And so it's a very simple idea. And this came from our customers. Our customers are saying, hey, if I tell my friend, can the 2 of us get a discount? Or the 3 of us get a discount? We're like, OK. Well, if there's 3 of you, maybe there's 100 of you. And so we changed that from just telling your neighbor to telling your neighborhood. And we launched what we call community programs. And then within the first year of operations, we became the largest in the state, just by that simple program. It was all cash sales, so it was still upfront money. But it gave us the scale that we needed to get to convince the financial market that we can actually deploy the capital. And then once we did that, then we moved over to selling energy. And now today, about 0.5% of our business is customers actually buying it. 99.5% is buying energy.
Is that crowdsourced kind of a model still in use? I haven't really seen much about that.
Yeah, it's actually the crowdsourcing has actually kind of changed to, this used to happen back in the old days, the Tupperware parties. Our customers host what we call solar home parties, and they just invite the neighbors. They show their neighbors how much energy they're saving. They log onto our technology, log onto the remote monitoring software, show the benefits. It's a very easy value proposition. And then the neighbors go solar, and we offer a referral.
So you've really enlisted your customers as your sales team.
Our single largest source of new customers is from our existing customers.
So do you have a sales force, or how do you interact with those two?
No, we do have a large sales force. So we have 2 primary channels, our own direct sales team, that goes to door-to-door, sells over the phone, sells remotely. That's about 600, 700 people. And then we have a strong partnerships. So we have a partnership with Home Depot where we have an exclusive agreement with them in 400 locations. We have a partnership with Honda. We have a partnership with Tesla Motors. If you're going to buy an electric vehicle, you're moving your transportation cost onto the grid. What better way to supplement that cost than with cheaper electricity from a solar system?
Yeah, we'll get back to that Tesla thing in a few minutes. What have you learned about why people buy solar? What motivates them? Is it purely economic? How much of it is saving the planet? What is the value proposition that's working?
That answer varies by market, and it's a big effect.
Well, let's start outside of California.
Okay, Oregon, it's environmental. Arizona, it's control. So depending on the market that you're in, it either falls into financial, control, or environmental.
And control is about energy independence and being...
Just because today you have no control of your energy bill. The utility can tell you to pay whatever you want, and the only thing you can do about it is pay. You can moan, but it won't result in too much. But you have one option, that's to pay it. If you get a solar system, for the 60 or 80% of energy that comes from your solar system, you know that's locked in. You know what that energy cost is going to be for the next 20 years. So customers really like that control.
And do you go out in each new market and test and saying which of the financial, environmental, control, which lever is the one that's going to...
Yeah, absolutely. So that gets customized for every market. It's part of our messaging. Control seems to be an overall number one, I'd say. And then, depending on the market, it is financial or environmental.
One of the ironies of the whole control thing, of course, is that you're not, I believe most of your systems aren't grid independent. So if the power goes down, those solar panels aren't going to do much for you.
No, that's just a safety procedure. It's not actually that it can't do anything. It's just the way it's designed. I think.
But the point is still there.
The point is still there. But that's not what the big fear is. The big fear is they don't have control of the energy cost. Backup will be a key ingredient to growing the solar industry. At the penetration rates that we face today, solar just doesn't move the needle yet in grid stability. But once you get to 20, 30% penetrations, we have to solve some of the grid stability challenges. And there's two big things. There's voltage control. There's immediate shutdown, so you have cloud coverage. How does the utility plan for that lack of energy? And then there's providing energy at night. Smart inverters can address the voltage issue. Storage can address the ramp down as well as moving your peak loads. So over time, over the next 10 years, we have to solve those two problems.
Do you get into the efficiency of the house that you're putting this on? It strikes me that putting solar panels on an inefficient house is like having a Diet Coke with your double bacon cheeseburger. It's not really
the American way.
Yeah, well, there is that. But it seems that you really need to do efficiency first before you can then put solar on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So every single system that we deploy, we do an energy efficiency evaluation of their house. We educate the customer where they are losing energy. And this is all software. And I know this conference is a lot about how tech meets environmental. In order to succeed with all this, there's so much technology involved in simulating the house behavior. So the audit takes us about an hour. We get all the information. Then we can simulate the house behavior and tell the customer exactly what are the best upgrades for them to do. And that helps. If you're a homeowner and you're thinking, what's the best thing for you to do in energy efficiency, often people think, go with double pane windows. That's just, the marketing there has been good. But the best thing to do is probably attic insulation, or pipe insulation, or replacing your pool pump. In fact, the worst thing to do is windows, in terms of financial investment.
So does Solar City work with companies to say, let's make sure your house is as efficient as possible before we put solar on it?
No, so we, most of the time when we go, so we address about 60 to 80% of the energy needs. Mm-hmm. And when you address the electrical side. So when we do the energy efficiency, for the part that's electrical, it'll address that remaining 40%. And then it'll also address the gas side. So we go in, we get the customer up and running with solar. The energy efficiency gets done. A lot of people prefer to do the energy efficiency upgrade when it's a break scenario versus being proactive. And that's just the behavior that we're in. I mean, we can just do a show of hands. For those who own houses, whose water heater is older than 10 years? Yeah, so you should upgrade your water heater. It's a good financial decision to do it. But you're probably going to upgrade it when it breaks. And that's just human nature.
Sure. So how many homes, can you say how many homes you've got solar panels on now?
Yeah, a little over 70,000.
Okay.
And we have a 5-year goal of 1 million homes.
From 70,000 to 1 million in 5 years. That's quite the ramp.
Well, technically speaking, it's less of a ramp. So if you take our growth rate, which has historically been 109% year on year, in order to hit that, we have to reduce our growth rate to around 78%. Now, the law of doubling big numbers eventually catches up, but that's so in terms of actually ramp up, it's a lower growth rate, and we're finding that as we grow our team, it's easier to scale the team as you got a large promotable base. So when you have thousands of installers out there, you have your junior installers, your seniors, and your leads. After 6 months on the job, your seniors can become leads, your juniors can be seniors, and then every 6 months you can kind of clone your group.
So you've got this all mapped out.
Yeah.
So at some point, I would imagine you're in the hundreds of thousands, 500,000, getting in that towards your 5-year goal. At some point, I don't really know, but I would think that you'd go from being a solar company to an energy company and maybe even a smart home company. Is that?
So the absolute goal is an energy company. And the way we look at it is, what should an energy company do? An energy company should help you manage your energy at your house, actually be proactive. So there will be some smart home activity associated with it. But in terms of our capacity today, we are doing that. We've installed over 500 megawatts of solar. Next year, just under 500 megawatts of solar. Next year, our target is 475 to 525. That's one coal facility. And if we keep our growth rates up, the following year will be a gigawatt. And then that's one nuclear facility. And then the following year will be 2 gigawatts. There's 2 nuclear facilities.
Yeah.
So that's starting to become a real energy company.
So what is my relationship with Solar City now that you're an energy company? How does that change beyond the arrangement we made with the panels on the roof?
So we just sell energy. So the relationship hasn't changed at all. In fact, that's always been the case. We sell energy, we install it on the roof, they get a bill from us, we charge per kilowatt hour. Some customers prefer fixed monthly payment versus kilowatt hours, and in that case we do a lease. But the dollar amount comes out to the same number at the end of the year. We calculate the lease by the number of kilowatt hours, and divide it by 12. So they have that relationship, they get a bill from us every month, and we service them as an energy company.
And do you offer anything beyond solar as an energy generation source?
Yeah, so there's a few things that we do. So now we're deploying pilot storage systems. We're deploying a couple of hundred this year, and this I think is going to be very exciting. So you add storage to the equation, now you can really start providing energy and backup. So that we're starting to scale. We also have the energy efficiency services that we spoke about. Then we also do the electric vehicle chargers. So if you're going to get an electric vehicle, we'll do those services.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, Tesla, this is all a family affair. So you and, it was Peter, your brother, was he a co-founder? Or he worked?
Yeah, so Peter and I started this company together. We also started our previous company together that we sell to Dell Computers.
And what's his role?
He runs all of operations and technology.
Okay. And your cousin is Elon Musk. Your mother and Elon's mother are twins, right?
That is correct.
I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
Yes.
I'm sort of telling them.
Really?
Yes.
Didn't know that.
We're going to make news here today, damn it. And so Tesla and Elon's on your board. Is he chairman? Or
yeah, he's on a board and chairman.
Yeah, okay. So you've got this nice relationship already, and of course these two very cool companies. So you are offering Tesla owners, I believe, some solar recharging service, right?
Yeah, so if you can get a Tesla system, you want a charger, we'll facilitate the installation of the charger.
And is that going to be offered, or is that being offered to other EV owners, non-Tesla?
It might.
I'm curious, just sort of what the decision factor is. Is that just a competitive thing, or is that?
Oh no, it's just purely a disclosure thing. It's just purely a disclosure.
Okay, all right. So this, I see, forward-looking statements and
Exactly.
all of that. Okay, good. All right.
As of today, the only announcements made is Honda and Tesla.
So, is one of the things that we're going to have a panel on this tomorrow are vehicles as grid storage. You know, this whole idea of the vehicles being able to feed energy back into the grid, being a cumulative distributed battery system. Are you looking at that with Tesla? Is that an interesting technology for you?
We looked at it. We struggled with it. One, your car's not always plugged in, so it's not predictable or reliable. Two, the cost of discharging and recharging, proportional to your cost of your vehicle, it's just not the best application, at least in our opinion. And what we decided to do, it's better to take that same battery technology and apply a standalone unit, which you mount up against the wall, and it's there, and it's always there. But the electric vehicle side, I think there could be another very interesting deployment of the batteries is in its redeployment. So at some point, a battery gets to a point where it's not efficient enough for the car, but it still has 60, 70% of its capacity. I mean, you all see this in your laptops. At some point, your battery life just goes down. Right. Well, that has the potential of being a perfect application for a house.
So you can take that Tesla battery pack out of the car and put it in the house, and it becomes battery storage in the house, presumably you then get a replacement on the Tesla side.
Yeah, I mean, the battery pack that we're deploying today is a Tesla battery pack.
Right.
So the battery pack comes in modules when Tesla builds them.
So the storage, when you offer storage for Solar City customers, they're getting a Tesla battery pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it's not an 80 kilowatt-hour battery pack.
Right.
It's a 10 kilowatt-hour battery pack.
But your home will...
We don't need to move the house.
Yeah, you don't. But if you would, it would go from 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. Exactly. Yeah. Let's take some questions. Let's have a few minutes. Mo, what are you hearing?
There's one question from Jeff, who's asking about the significant development of U.S. shale gas and what influence that's had on both economics and adoption of solar, and your future outlook for that. Yeah.
So we get this question a lot. So shale gas affects the cost of wholesale electricity. Now, and that's more on the generation side. It doesn't have any effect on transmission and distribution. So even with the shale gas being at an all-time low, not now, it's a little up, but a year and a half ago it was an all-time low, retail rates are still going up. Everybody here lives in California for the most part?
No, it's
from all over. It's all over the place. Okay, so California has definitely increased quite a bit. So you have this legacy infrastructure. It's aging. It's getting old. It's 100 plus years old that needs to be continually upgraded, and that's the big cost. So even with the natural gas at its low price, we've seen our retail customers go up. East Coast has done a little volatility, but we definitely see that going up over a 5 or 10 year period.
But it doesn't change the value proposition, the payback periods. Or I guess it's not concerned because you're levelizing, you're locking in your cost of energy.
And we always price our cost of electricity off the cost of the retail energy curve.
Yeah, good. Let's take another, Mo.
Another question that we have is about how Solar City addresses obsolescence in solar panels, and wondering if the process for replacing and also where those original panels go.
Okay.
So those panels are warranted for about 20 years, right, by the manufacturer?
So the warranty life is 20 years. The expected life is probably 35 years. So there's no moving parts. The stuff is super basic. If you look at the last 15 years of solar panels, they look essentially the same. The efficiencies have improved oh so slightly. They've gone from like 13, maybe 11, 12% up to 15%. So it's a really, really slight efficiency gain. but not much. All the technology and all the innovation is driving down the cost. And so that's what we've seen. So we don't actually think that there's going to be much. You're not going to have the Moore's law in solar. You'll have the Moore's law in solar in cost reduction, but not necessarily in product development. And you're selling an electron. Your panel will always work. It's always producing electricity. It's not like there's a new operating system that your panel can't work anymore. So our forecast is we actually think we're going to have those panels on the roof for 35 years.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. We'll look forward to watching that, but watching you grow as you continue to move towards that million customer scale. Will be quite the feat, and but it looks like you've got it pretty well mapped out. So congratulations on being this solar company to go public and to create the brand value and the cred, and really in some ways open up the market in so many ways for all the other companies, and just really helping to make solar literally a household item. Yeah,
I mean, to me, it's a mission. We have to transform the way energy is delivered. There is no option here.
Yeah.
If we fail at that, the world will be a bad place. So it is just a mission.
Yeah, well, so far so good. Mission accomplished. Thank you, Lyndon.